Welcome, Terry. Where the heck are we?
We're at ThreadX right here in my hometown, Scottsdale, Arizona, and ThreadX powered by SGIA. We're having this is day 2 of the conference, having a great time here. Lots and lots of great content that we're going to be sharing with you guys as well.
Yeah, definitely. So it's been a great 2 days, 3 days, I guess, really.
Yeah.
I flew in on
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. So, and had an awesome time. Actually, Terry was like, "I'm warning you, the grandkids are there. It's gonna be a little crazy." It was awesome.
5, 3, and 1, running wild.
Yeah. And I was the new guy, and they wanted to show off for the new guy. It was fantastic. In fact, I got a great picture with Terry and his youngest grandson.
Yeah,
right.
a little
you
older.
Got a younger granddaughter, but he's your youngest.
Correct. He's the youngest grandson. Right.
Excellent. So, Kim, welcome. How are you? Thanks for joining us here this morning, and appreciate you checking in. I guess it's not really this morning though. In Central Time, it's 12:15, 12:20.
Yeah. So it's
Fair Lawn, New Jersey, or wherever you guys are at there at Equipment Zone now. It's
Franklin Lakes. Yeah. It's a little after 1 there, and afternoon there for Kim in the Midwest.
Yep. So, Terry, we're here at ThreadX 2020. It has, like I said, been a great event. Like, we had that opportunity to get to just hang out personally too, and we've been asked, how the 2 regular guys got started, and what and why and all that kind of stuff. And I was telling the 2 gentlemen from Sandlot Sports, Ryan and Adam, yesterday. I said, funny part about it was, for me, and I believe I'm speaking for you as well, 2 regular guys could have started as a way for you and I to stay connected.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
We both used to live here in the Phoenix area, and you moved off to St. Louis. So every Friday we get to chat and we get to share it with the rest of the world.
That's right. That's right. You guys get to enjoy this. So it's been that's where we started. So that was great. Great way to start. We got to then have an opportunity to sit down with Eric, the birthday boy.
Exactly. We might have taken him out on the town on his birthday Monday night.
Indeed. So we now have some blackmail stuff.
He did recite Beowulf for us. So.
It was fantastic. So, all right. Well, that was the fun part, and it's all been fun. What? Just give us the rundown here, Terry, of kind of the step by step of what we've been through over the last couple of days, and
a lot of folks who have not been to an event like this, they think, well, it's going to be like a trade show. There are going to be people there promoting equipment. There are going to be people there talking about how to run a screen printing press, how to run an embroidery machine. None of that. It's all about growing your business, all about how to relate with your employees, how to relate with your customers, what to say, what not to say to customers. It's just a great opportunity for business owners. And we had an interview earlier today with someone who has a multi-million-dollar screen printing business. Well, he's sitting at lunch in a little while here next to someone that started a screen printing business 6 months ago, and sharing of ideas. And this is just such a great forum for that. This is year number 3, and we've been at each one of those events as the 2 regular guys, and again, getting great interviews. And we're pretty lucky because we'll see an hour-long presentation, and then we'll grab that presenter and bring them in here into the media room that SGIA has provided for us. And we get to ask them all of our questions, all the questions that everybody's raising their hand trying to ask. We get them one-on-one for a little while.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about raising our hand in the back. We'll just drag them in here to the media center. It's been great. There's the gentlemen from Ink Kitchen have been in here. We see Marcia Derryberry from Impressions Magazine, and just a great cross section of folks here across multiple disciplines of decorating. So fantastic stuff. Let's get a couple of comments here. Todd says, "Howdy, Todd."
Hey, Todd.
You should be getting ready to go to Mexico. He's actually going to Mexico to get married here.
Is that right? I
did
not know that.
So congratulations, Todd and Corey. So
are you going straight from here there?
I'm going straight to no. I really hey, trust me. I really wanted to try. Kylene and I had some very serious conversations about how we could potentially make that happen. But
you haven't, pardon me, you haven't been home. You've had 3 consecutive events, right?
Correct. I've had 3 consecutive events. So I might be wearing this for a little while. It's hard to pack for 10 days worth of stuff in one suitcase. So.
Yeah. I only had 2. I was in Kansas City for the DAX show, and you had come from, is it PPAI that you
No, the Awards Expo, Awards
right,
and Personalization.
Right.
Yeah. So it was great. So I went Las Vegas, Kansas City, Scottsdale.
Right.
So really, it's been a fantastic trip. Everyone has been.
And one nice thing for you is you get to see family tonight.
Correct. I do. Yeah. My brother's actually going to pick me up here this afternoon, and we're going to go hang out with my oldest son, Keegan. And
very nice.
You guys that know me, that's a special opportunity. So I'm excited about that. Let's see what else we've got here. Terry says, I didn't receive any calls for bail money, so all must have went well.
Thanks, Terry. Yeah. Thanks for the offer.
Yeah, exactly.
Was not required.
Exactly. So,
well, compared to, hey, a lot of screen printers here. So by comparison, we are fairly tame.
Yeah.
I said fairly.
Okay, fairly. Okay, that's good. All right. So, Terry, we've really had a great time, lots of good conversations, still some more to come here.
Right.
In fact, we've talked, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get it scheduled or how we're going to make it work, but from the very first ThreadX, we jumped in your car with
exactly
2 of probably the tallest guys in the industry,
and made them sit in the back seat,
put them in the back seat, and Marshall Atkinson and Eric Campbell, and so we did decorators in cars eating cookies.
Exactly. 6-hour trip to Palm Springs, 6-hour trip. It was a little easier going than coming back.
Yeah, it was.
I remember about an hour outside of town. I'm like, you got to drive, man. I'm done.
yeah, that's true. You did a lion's share of the driving on that trip. So we're going to try to recreate that. We're going to, decorators, not in cars, not eating cookies. So, stay tuned. We're going to try to make that happen here this afternoon, but we'll just timing, lots of stuff going on. I've got a list of okay, I need to talk to this person. Yeah. It's like I'm talking to them, but now we need to take it to that next step. So.
But we have also scheduled with some folks that to do some really, really great 2 Regular Guys podcasts here in the next few months. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah. So not only have we had that opportunity to record a lot of great stuff. In fact, our goal here, our plan is to take those interviews that we've done here, and we're going to cut them up a little bit, just take out some chunks of them because we won't have time to do them all. But kind of next Friday's show, this upcoming Friday show, holy crap.
Wait, what's today? Tuesday.
Yeah, you got a lot to do. But this next Friday show will be some snippets of those things. We're also going to have Clay from CorralTrainer.com on with us we're going to recap DAX Kansas City. I'll probably give a little recap of Las Vegas as well. And so really just, again, our goal here is to share this with you guys. We would always love to have you guys be there and be a part of all of this. But if you can't, we're going to try to give you the next best thing, right?
Exactly right. And we don't know where ThreadX is going to be next year, but a lot of folks are really, really excited about it.
Yeah. And here's what you guys got to do. Even if you didn't get here to ThreadX, if you want this to be available, you got to make sure that you reach out to SGIA and just, the content that's coming out of this is fantastic for our industry. So make sure that you guys tell them that, you heard about it on the 2 Regular Guys, you're interested in the future, and just, let them know that it's worthwhile, because we truly think that this is a worthwhile event. We had an opportunity to talk to Pete Lovelace, and he's been on our show. In fact, for those of you that are not, I don't want to blame it on Pete, but he certainly helped us solidify the dad jokes every Friday, right?
Right. And quite proud of it.
Yeah, indeed. So, he was talking about, just the community, the connectedness. You mentioned that have somebody that just started up. In fact, we're going to do our best to talk to a young man that 2 years ago won the Skills USA competition, now has his own business, and hired somebody that took second place in the Skills USA competition last year.
Yeah, we're looking forward to chatting with him. And, and back to Pete Lovelace also. he came from a different industry, and so his perspective on what we're doing here is entirely different, and it's very refreshing. And he's going to be it's going to be a great interview for you guys to listen to. A little snippet of on Friday, and then the full interview. But he's promised us that he's going to come on for a full hour and really dig deep into how to, more than anything, how to deal with your employees, how to get people on board. One of the things he mentioned in his talk yesterday was, let's not look at this like, why is it so hard to keep our employees? Let's look at it as, how can we create an atmosphere where people want to work here, people want to be here, and I think we can all use a little bit of that.
Yeah, definitely. That, like I said, just changing that perspective and asking that question of your business in that way. So right. If you're out there and you're going, hey, I'm having a really hard time getting employees, well, it's not that, the labor market, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If we're taking full responsibility for ourselves, we're asking that question: what do we need to do to be that place that attracts the top talent, exactly. that brings in the people that, I love he kind of says, they lend you their hands. That's what they're getting, a paycheck to do that.
Right.
But he wants his team members to also lend their head and their heart, and be invested into the business as much as he and the leadership team is. And so to do that, you have to do these things. It was a great talk. I believe it was called the Virtuous Leader.
Correct.
And, he gave a blueprint that you could take back and start implementing in your business to do that very thing, to get people to buy into a point where it's about them just as much as it is about the rest of the company.
Exactly.
And boy, that makes a huge difference when, people have their hearts involved in it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So, let's see here. What do you guys got, guys? What questions do you have? Like I said, we wanted to pop in here real quick. We're going to try to get the decorators not in cars, not eating cookies together, but
get the band back together.
Yeah. Get the band back together. I like Terry said, I've had a great opportunity to reconnect with a few friends. We had a friend of mine owns a restaurant up the street, so we got to see him last night. Yeah. I'm gonna get to hang out with my brother and my oldest son, so that's great.
And last night they always have a special event at ThreadX, and so last night it was at the Brat House. So we had brats and beers and just a lot of decorators hanging out, mostly talking about what happened during the sessions yesterday and kind of recapping it. And it's, hey, we decorators are kind of nerds. We like to talk about decorating. And so that's what we did for a few hours last night.
So you mix in some brats, you mix in some beers and screen printers and decorators and everything like that. And you get a pretty darn good time.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
All right. Let's see here. Renee says, Todd, are you and Corey going to match since they're getting, I missed it. Todd said, headed to get our toes did now and just about ready to head off to Mexico. So Terry wants pictures, not Terry Saunders wants pictures of Todd's toes.
Is it going to be purple, Todd? Or because that's the last time I saw you, you had
purple toes.
You were purple.
All right. I didn't pay that much attention to Todd's toes.
Well, I did only because I was at a restaurant and it was about 30 degrees outside, and Todd came in shorts and flip-flops. So
that makes sense. I would look at that too. All right, Terry. So what stood out though? Like we said, tons of great stuff going on. But for you, what's been the number one thing that you've just
the big takeaway for me?
Yeah,
the big takeaway for me was the conversation yesterday morning about responding to your customers, and you want more complaints, and not because you want to do things wrong, because you want people to tell you what you've done wrong so that you can fix it. And I love that conversation.
That was Jay Bear.
Bear.
And as you guys know, I'm a fanboy, so getting to actually sit down next to him and have that conversation.
So we drug him in here and continued the conversation. And if for anybody who doesn't know, Jay wears plaid suits. That's his thing. And he had
his brand.
It's his brand. But what was kind of interesting, I thought, was when he said, wherever I speak, you can go to my website and you pick the suit that I wear. And that was kind of interesting. But his perspective on respond to everyone. And here's something that I hear all the time. I don't want to call my customer because I don't want to hear bad news. Well, you need to hear that bad news.
Yeah.
You need to talk to that customer. And he was giving an example of somebody going to work for a company and saying, what I want to do is triple the complaints. And they're like, well, I'm sorry, what do you want to do?
Yeah. You're fired.
But it was creating the opportunity at every turn for your customer to give you feedback. And he said by tripling those complaints, the complaints went to zero. And because they resolved those issues that they didn't, they didn't know existed.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, he told the story about the fact that only 5 out of every 100 customers will actually complain to you.
Correct.
Right. The other 95 are just going to go away.
Yeah, they're just not coming back.
And so that really is eye-opening. So those 5 are extremely valuable to your business because that is the feedback you need to be able to retain those other 95.
Exactly. Exactly right.
I don't know, Terry. Terry Saunders says the sofa looks more comfortable than the one you had in Dax. I'm not sure about that.
This is not inflatable like the one we had at Dax.
Funny story about that. If you don't mind, I'm just going to interrupt you. But I was talking to my son back home in St. Louis last night, and the inflatable couch actually came up in our conversation, and he said he really wants to take it out of the box when it gets home and blow it up. He's like, I've never sat in an inflatable couch before. I'm like, I don't think I have either until now. So there we go.
Now this couch while it is more comfortable, it's very slick. So you feel like you're gradually sliding off. It's like glacial speed. You're just gradually coming up the couch.
Nice. All right. So for me, Terry, big fanboy of Jay Bear. But I think we've covered that. So Pete, who we just talked to, like I said, he comes from another industry. He was fairly high up at the Ritz-Carlton, it sounds like.
Right.
And so that hospitality industry, the Ritz-Carlton is at the pinnacle of that, really, right?
Right.
And it was just so cool to talk to him. I loved I don't know. I just connect with him. I love his take on things. He's, running a fairly decent sized business here.
Right.
He's focused on making the business better for everybody else that's part of it. He says he's got 42 team members. So he's focused on making the business better for them while they focus on making it what the customers need and desire. And
at no point did we talk about screens, squeegees, ink. It was all about the people.
Yeah. And while he's certainly a very intelligent guy and can figure all that stuff out, lets the people in his organization take care of those things, and then gives them the opportunity to grow and learn and just it was really cool.
This morning when the session started Justin from Oklahoma Shirt Company, he named off each speaker yesterday, and what was your takeaway? And when Pete was mentioned, somebody in the back goes, "We're all going to the Bahamas," because he did in fact take his entire staff to the Bahamas last year.
Yeah, for sure. But they earned it.
Yes.
It wasn't that. He talked about the fact that what it's not is it's not ping pong tables and massages and even trips to the Bahamas. That was just the byproduct of what they were doing.
He described it, the celebration of their success.
Yeah, indeed. So that was my big thing. I mean, there's going to be tons of things that next week I'm like, oh man, I remember that. That was cool. I enjoyed that. Just like the little conversations that we were able to have, along the way too. So meeting new people. It's been great. So for you guys, if Jan said, hey, maybe next year, sorry, I missed it. But here's my point is that you need to figure out ways within your world, if you aren't able to attend these things, how do you create those opportunities within your community just to have those conversations and to, like Terry said, we're having some fun, but we're growing and we're learning and we're, and it doesn't have to be another screen printer or whatnot.
Right. Well, we spoke to someone last night from near Cleveland.
Yeah.
And she was talking about having a peer group, and nobody in the group is from the same industry, but you all have similar types of issues that you want to talk about. And I was in a group like that when I was in Kansas City, and it was hugely rewarding, and every meeting, we met once a month. You met in the different offices that we all worked in, but the person who was hosting gave a presentation and talked about their business and how they deal with things. And you could do that in your own community. I mean, you could form a group of 5 or 8 or 10 people to talk about being in business, not about threading, an embroidery machine, but talk about your employees and dealing, incentives and things like that with a group that isn't competing with you.
It's business is business is business,
Exactly.
regardless of the industry. And so I think that this event and that kind of whole idea, like you said, she felt like, making that be more part of our industry would be huge.
Yeah.
So I said, yes, let's do it.
Exactly.
So stay tuned, right? All right. Well, let's see here. What questions you guys have for us? It's been, like I said, it's great. Still more to come. So we're excited, but I'm also ready to go home. So
I'll bet. Now, me going home, I live 20 minutes from here.
Yep.
So
for sure. So, all right, guys. Well, what's going on in your businesses today? What information do you need? How can we help you? What's up? So we'll give you guys a second. Terry, what's next? What's on the horizon for you here?
Well, let's see. I've got this weekend. I'm teaching class, but it's right here in Phoenix. So I'll be at Workhorse Products. We do have a couple of spots still open if anybody's interested. And it's 70 degrees here right now. So if that's any enticement for any of you out there. But the first speaker this morning said, I'm going to speak and then I'm going to shoot the airport because it's snowing in Chicago. I need to get home.
Yeah, I get the weather report from St. Louis. It didn't sound like it was very good there either. So as much as I can't wait to get home to see my family, I certainly would love to stay here in this beautiful weather.
We've got 8 inches of sunshine and it's still coming down.
Awesome. All right. So that's coming up. You've got Workhorse Products. The other thing that we're going to start talking about a lot more, two things I want to make sure that we're talking about quite a bit here. Eric Campbell has demystifying next level digitizing that he's going to be putting on March 28th. And so make sure you head over to decorators.education and you can get signed up for that event. If you're using the code regulator, you'll get $100 off of that. And the other thing that's coming up here much sooner than we think, Terry, we got some work to do.
The 5 Wednesdays in April, I'm going to be doing scheduling and estimating production time, and really drilling down into not only I'm going to give you the numbers that I would use in my production shop to schedule an order. And by scheduling, by the way, I'm talking about you take an order and with a 10-second calculation, you can write on that order, this order will take 2 hours and 15 minutes or 3 hours and 30 minutes or whatever. And I'm going to talk to you about how then you can put your own numbers into those formulas so that you can actually schedule production rather than juggle production. Because if your first question to your customer is, when do you need it? You're juggling production, because you should be saying, okay, in the schedule, this will be ready next Tuesday afternoon. So feel free to stop by. Yeah. And we're going to really drill down into that. We're going to talk about also how to eliminate downtime. And what a lot of people don't realize is the printing, this is specific to screen printing, but it's applicable to other types of decoration. But the printing part's the easy part. Where we lose our time is the setup and the teardown, and before you reach for that next screen. So I'm going to really dig into that and help you, as much as double your production.
Yeah. And the cool part about this whole program thing I'm really excited about with it is that, you and I were talking about it. I'm like, let's dig into, me, I love discovering the why. Why do people need this? And the things that came up for me were, you're able to basically increase your profit, increase the amount of production you're able to do without adding an employee, without spending more money on equipment, without doing anything more than following this formula, getting your numbers right, and then following this path. I mean,
exactly.
It's a pretty cool deal.
and keep tracking it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So more information is going to be coming on that soon. Like I said, I've got some work to do. We've got some work to do. Yeah. But if you want to get more information on that, just head over to decoratorscommunity.com and just get signed up as a scholar there. And we'll be emailing out to folks that are a part of that list, all the information coming up on both that and Eric's program. And last note of mention, we got to hang out also with Jay Bissell here.
We did indeed.
And Jay has his book, Your Style Guide. Lots of discussion around that here. So if you've not picked up your copy of that yet, you head over to Jay Bissell, BUSSELLE.
Correct.
Yes. jbissell.com, and you can get a copy of that. So Terry, any last thoughts before we call it a day here for this segment? Like I said, stay tuned. We are going to do our best to get back here with Marshall and Eric and do a little bit more of this. So just stay tuned here to facebook.com/2regularguys or over at our YouTube channel, 2 Regular Guys over there.
That is the number 2.
Number 2. All right. So I think we covered it.
I think so.
We didn't have to get into science today.
We're gonna get back up to a few more sessions and then have lunch with a whole bunch of decorators.
Awesome. Let's do it. Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.